Hello everybody, it's Joe and welcome back to Diablo 2 Resurrected. I didn't really want to make a video on unique items, but that is quite a cute burp, so I have to do it now. So let's head over to Arad Summit and let's start left to right with rings. Okay, one thing to note about unique items is that you have some variance in the quality of the item. For example, Nature Ring can have from 15 to 30 better chance of getting magic items, so Nature with 30% of magic find is much more valuable than one with 15. So the first quite useful ring is Nature Ring. Stone of Jordan, very sought after for the +1 skills, very valuable item. Dwarf Staff can be useful in some cases, but the Ravenfrost is the one you want to get. Bulgatos Wedding Band, another very valuable ring, +1 skills, and it is more catered for physical characters due to lifesteal. Carrion Wind, interesting, but quite specialized, I would say. Same thing with Nature Piece and Wisp Projector. Amulets, let's go Arad Summit, you can do it. 2 hours later. There's the Cat's Eye, which can be useful, but you are mostly looking for the High Lords. Another plus skills, increased attack speed for physical characters, very useful. For all characters, Mara's Kaleidoscope, +2 to skills, resistances, again variance. In the effectiveness of the all resistances, Seraph Hymn, it's better to have Mara's Kaleidoscope, but if you find it, it might be useful. And Metal Grid can be better than Mara's Kaleidoscope and High Lord in some cases. I remember using this on my Fury Druid. The top two are High Lords and Mara's Kaleidoscope. The other ones, situational, maybe the Cat's Eye can be used in some cases quite successfully. Let's move to unique charms. It's easy. All of them are good. So Rainbow Facets, or however is that pronounced, have quite a lot of variance, because you can have from +3 to +5 to elemental or poison skill damage, and the same goes for minus enemy resistance. The die ones are probably more sought after, but I'm not really sure whether that matters too much. Important thing is have +5, -5 to have the best value. What do we have here? Circlets. The Holy Grail is Griffon's Eye, pretty tough to get, very sought after for Lightning Sorceress, quite a valuable item, and Kira's Guardian is actually pretty good, because you have Cannot Be Frozen all resistances, but it is again quite situational. Okay, normal unique Helms, they are mostly useless, but if you find a Tarn Helm early it can be useful. I don't even remember all of those, but this Undead Crown can be useful for a mercenary because of that lifesteal. Same goes with the Worm Skull. Let's move to exceptionally unique Peasant Crown. It's like poor man's Shaco, can be useful. Rockstopper is actually quite an interesting, because you have damage reduction, some resistances, vitality. Like not very valuable, but interesting nonetheless. Crown of Thieves can actually be pretty interesting for that lifesteal and other bonuses, like probably best for a mercenary. And Vampire Gaze is also quite useful, especially for mercenary, because you have that lifesteal and damage reduction like by 15 to 20%, which is a lot. And Elite Helms, Harlequin Crest, one of the most sought after items, useful for almost every characters. Can be pricey at the start of the ladder, but as the season progresses it becomes quite cheap again. Nightwing's Veil, again pretty sought after item for characters which use cold damage, so your Blizzard Sorceress or my favorite Rift Sin can really benefit from this. Andariel's Visage, you really want this to have the Ethereal mod, because it's probably the most used mercenary helmet. You will have to fight with the fire resistance, which is actually minus on this helmet, so there's that. Crown of Ages is very interesting, because you can have up to 2 sockets, and if you have like good damage reduction with good all resistances and 2 sockets, it's quite valuable. Giant Skull is more interesting than that is useful, but I sort of like it. It has Crushing Blow and it can have 2 open sockets. Yeah, but you will probably be better off with other helmets, but I sort of like it. It has definitely some style points. Normal unique armors, there won't be anything very interesting from what I remember. What about exceptional? There is one skin of the Viper Magi. If you roll something with high resistances, it can have up to 35. It is quite a good caster armor because of that faster cast rate. Yeah, Duriel's Shell is again something that can be pretty useful for your physical character, because you have Cannot Be Frozen mode. You have basically all resistances with heightened cold resistance, you have some bonus to strength, pretty good physical armor. Chef Stop is interesting because of the 30% damage reduction, but not very sought after. Scalders are, yeah, that is pretty good for magic finding, but yeah, it depends, you might be better off with Talarasha's armor. A lot of the time I end up with Corpse Maw or Black Hades on my Mercenary, because I don't have anything better for them for quite a long time, so that's that, but not very sought after items. Elite unique armor, Ormus robes. I would be probably able to make a whole video on Ormus, because there is quite a lot of variance due to +3 bonus to random sorcerer skill, and depending on the skill it can have quite a lot of value, and also combined with the plus skill damage, which is also variable. There is a lot of variance around this skill. If you have some +3 lightning, blizzard, fireball, meteor, or frozen orb or something like that, so basically if you have bonus to some sought after or used skill with good combination of the plus skill damage, it can has quite a lot of value, because there is a lot of variance on this. Every armor with high defense is good mercenary armor basically. So these are interesting because it's sort of tough to get some of those, especially Tyraeus Might, which is, I believe, the hardest or the most difficult item to get in the whole game, because it's like super high level item. It's not very useful actually, but it is interesting because you don't need any strength to wear it, and you get some resistances, some strength bonus, run walk, Cannot Be Frozen. Like, it's not the worst armor in the in the game, definitely. It has quite a lot of defense, but it's basically style points and it is really difficult to get. I've never dropped one through all those years. You are usually better off using the rune wards for body armor. Okay, shields. Let me just go through these. Monster's Blast Circle is actually pretty good, because you have all resistances, faster block rate, increased chance of blocking, and 2 open sockets, so you can put quite some things inside to make this shield cover needs of your build. So I like this shield, but it's not very valuable. Lidless Wall is actually useful shield due to plus skills and faster cast rate, so if you don't want to go with the enormous strength requirements of Spirit Monarch, this can be used. Storm Shield, pretty good overall, so this one is probably the most valuable of the shields here. Medusa's Gaze, Headhunter's Glory is sort of a weird shield, but if you have 3 open sockets, it can have some value. Gloves. Is there, yeah, chance guards. If you have better chance of getting magic items, it is useful for magic finding, of course. Mage Fist are also quite sought after. The same thing goes for Frostburns, but to a lesser extent. Like, you have increased maximum mana, so sometimes I see somebody using Frostburns, but Mage Fist are usually more sought after due to faster cast rate. Exceptional gloves. What do we have here? I would say nothing interesting. And Dracula's Grasp, very sought after item for many physical characters due to chance to cast Life Tap, which basically means you won't die anytime soon. And yeah, that's probably all. Bootsies. So Hotspur are sometimes used due to 45 resistance and a maximum fire resistance. And Goblin Toe are sometimes used due to high chance of crushing blow and might be very useful for Kick Assassin when you upgrade them 2 times. Exceptional Inferno Stride are pretty similar to Hotspur but don't offer as much to fire resistance bonuses. Waterwalks are sometimes useful due to life and faster run walk. War Travelers, again, if you have high, better chance of getting magical items. And Go Riders are best in slot for many physical characters due to Crushing Blow, Solid Run Walk, Open Wounds, Deadly Strike, pretty solid boots. Yeah, Sandstorm Track. These are interesting if you have them ethereal because they repair durability. Marrow Walks used to be used because there was some bug of like these skills working towards synergies in a Necromancer, but I believe that was fixed some time ago. Shadow Dancers, yeah, good option for Kick Assassin, but I don't see it used in any other build, I would say. So that were boots, and we will continue with belts right here. Okay, Gold Wrap, that is very useful for Magic Find, but it's pretty easy to find, so the value is not that high as the season progresses. String of Ears is pretty good belt due to damage reduction, which can go from 10 to 15 and some lifesteal. Razor Tail might be interesting for some builds due to piercing attack. Snow Clash can be interesting for some Blizzard Sorceresses, I guess. Thunder Gods is pretty solid belt. You have a huge bonus to Vitality and Strength, and it is very good for Lightning Fury Amazons. And in Elites we have Arachnid Mesh, which is best in slot for many casters due to +1 skills and faster cast rate. Nosferatu's Coil is quite an interesting belt, can be useful due to lifesteal, strength bonus and increased attack speed. Verdungo's Herticold is also pretty sought after if you have good roll, like if you have +40 vitality and damage reduction by 15%, it's very sought after. Okay, belts, which means we are moving to weapons, and I don't like unique weapons very much, but let's do this. I will try to speed up. Yeah, if you have some crushing blow on the item, it can be actually useful, but other than that I'm not really sure. Like for most of the unique weapons, I would say as long as they give you, like physical weapons, as long as they give you some better bonuses than you currently have, like use it. Razor's Edge, Rune Master, yeah, I remember this can have like 5 sockets. I don't run many physical characters, so there might be a chance there is some hidden gem, but usually rune wards are much better choice for you. For bows, there might be some few interesting. I will just again go really quickly through those. Ribhook, yeah, Kukoshakaku is interesting because it fires explosive arrows, which wild string, fires magical arrows, level 20, and you have some bonus to amplify damage. So I believe this bow was used in some, at least leveling phases of builds. And here we are really looking for Wind Force, which is probably the best unique bow you can get, because it has plus 250 enhanced damage in quite a strong bow already, and you have bonuses to maximum damage based on character level, so this bow really can pack a punch. And I will have to drink some water. So that were bows. If we go for crossbows, Burizado is pretty good actually. It has quite a lot of cold damage, you have some bonus to maximum damage, so you can also pack some punch with this crossbow, and you have that piercing attack. Elite crossbows, I don't really know these very much, so they are probably not very valuable and not traded very often. So the That's that. What the hell? That's that. So Burizado Cannon is probably the best thing you can get. So let me go to Daggers. And this one is fun because you have Sto. Yeah, Sto is 100 in check, and I sometimes switch in my brain, whatever. So you have 100 better chance of getting magic items, so that's fun. And this one has some resist. Yeah, these are mostly fun, but Spectral Shard is actually quite useful because you have huge faster cast rate and some resistances. But it was replaced by Wizard Spike, which we will see a little bit later. Blah blah. Nothing very interesting. Yeah, Wizard Spike, you have faster cast rate, massive plus 75 resistances. The only thing this weapon is missing is the plus skills, but overall it's pretty good item. Here and there, this name is real long. Okay, I believe in Elite we have some goodies. Yes, I remember using this on my Zolot, because you have quite a lot of cold damage, so I use this as backup in case I run in some physical immunes. Demon Limb is useful because you have level 23 enchant on charges, and I would use this on my Kixin to pre-buff before Uber Tristram to raise my attack rating, because you actually get quite some attack rating from using enchant. Stormlash, I really like this weapon. You have quite a lot of damage, you have increased attack speed, 33 chance of crushing blow, and you also have a chance, where is it? Yeah, static field. You have 15% to cast static field on striking, and it means basically just extra crushing blow through the roof. So amazing weapon for killing bosses. And the rest, I don't really know. Windhammer, I find this quite often in my Magic Find runs for some reason. Earthshifter can be used in some interesting Druid builds due to +7 to elemental skills. Which build comes to mind is some fire and physical combination of Fury Druid, where you would use Armageddon, which I believe can be used when you are shapeshifted. So you have some nice fire damage and physical damage packed into one weapon. Most of these weapons are sort of fun, but they are like, you are just better off using the rune words. Because this one, although it has monstrous crushing blow, it's two-handed, you usually want to use a shield, and it's sort of slow and you want to be fast, so that's the problem with Cranium Basher, which has pretty nice stats, but it is slow. Like, is there something interesting? Not really. And with the Elite Polearms, Bone Hue is actually quite interesting, because you have 2 open sockets. I sometimes use this on my mercenary when I don't need Insight or Infinity. The Reaper's Toll, some cold damage, Deadly Strike, and chance to cast Decrepify, which is the most interesting thing on Reaper's Toll. So Elite Polearms, quite interesting stuff, probably for a mercenary. I would like to talk a little bit more about Stonebreaver, because there is some variance on enhanced damage and number of sockets, and if you roll something close to perfect, it's quite valuable, and also resistances, of course, because you can make pretty nasty werewolf druid weapon of this, and it is also valuable if it is ethereal, because it is sort of worth wasting ZOD rune inside if you really want to make a perfect Fury Druid. Because if it is ethereal, the damage is increased, and if the mods are also great, you will just put Zod rune and 2 Shala runes to increase your attack speed even further. And it's just monstrous weapon. We are actually getting quite close to finishing this. So let's start with Scepters from the last line. The Redeemer, like, I don't really know. Heaven's Light, it might be useful If you have like 2 open sockets, you can put, I don't know, like shell runes inside to make it faster and kill some bosses with it. So that might work. So yeah, I don't see these used very often, so I would say. And if you are lucky, somebody will pay for those. So let's move onto spears. Like LP Snare can be pretty interesting if you just use it for bosses, because you will slow them quite a lot and they won't be able to do much against you. But that's all here. And in elite spears, I'm not really sure. Probably nothing too interesting here. Staves. Like, some of these are interesting for leveling, except one of those, which is a Rib Cracker. And this one is actually used by Fury Druids again, and you can upgrade it to Stalagmites or something like that, however is upgraded quarterstaff called. And you have massive crushing blow, increased attack speed, faster hit recovery, and the enhanced damage can be pretty nice. So Ribcracker is very good weapon for for Fury Druid, and it also makes a pretty funny sound when you hit stuff with it. So that's that. Ondal's Wisdom is quite interesting for the experience gain bonus. You can find some people who will tell you if you are using this during bail runs, like you are the leeching experience, but it doesn't really calculate this way, so you are not actually stealing experience for other people. The same thing goes for Annihilus unique charm. And just like the thing is, like if you are just Barbarian using Ondals, you are probably not very useful for the group, so that's probably the origin of the experience leeching story. So what are we left with? Swords. Is there something? Blade of Alibaba is quite interesting weapon for magic finding, because you can have up to 99 better chance of getting magic items, and you have 2 open sockets, so you will find people wearing Alibaba and putting 2 Ist runes inside for another 50% bonus, but I don't really know, is that really worth it? And for the elite lightsaber Azuref, these are quite interesting because they add some magical lightning or a huge magical and huge cold damage bonus. So you can use these as a backup weapon on your physical character to deal with physical immunes. And other than that, I don't think there is anything interesting. And wands, exceptionally, yeah, this one is pretty fun for leveling, I would say. You have some resistances, huge faster caster bonus, all skills. Arm of King Leoric can be interesting for Summon a Necromancer, and for the elite ones, Bone Shade can be actually pretty good for Bone Necromancer. Death's Web is pretty interesting because you have a huge poison resistance reduction for your enemies, +2 to skills and bone skills, so this is something you would like to use on your Poison Nova Necromancer, so that's pretty useful. Okay, throwing weapons right here. Yeah, Gimmer Shreds are known for huge bonuses to elemental damage, so that's another way to deal with physical immunes. And we are left with the class specific items, which will be probably a little bit more interesting, so let's go with that. So, unique Amazon items, but here we are Titan's Revenge. This is the best throwing spear or javelin you can get on your Amazon, and you will be very happy if you get this in ethereal version, because it replenishes quantity, so it means you don't have to repair it to replenish the quantity. So the best way to throw javelins is this one, hands down. And Thunderstroke is probably best if you are trying to poke something with your charge strikes, so that's another great weapon. So my perfect charge strike and lightning fury Amazon would switch between Thunderstroke and Titan's Revenge depending on what she is doing. Assassin, Shadow Killer, what is that? Barteks are pretty solid, you get some plus skills, bonuses to dexterity and strength, like pretty okay. Jade Talon can also be quite interesting due to resistances and other bonuses to skills. And that's probably that, nothing, the other two are not very interesting. Necromancer, yeah, Homunculus is very solid, you have resistances, you have bonus to curses, chance of blocking, it's like huge for Necromancer, faster block rate, yeah, why not? If you don't really need faster cast rate, this is the Necromancer shield to use. Dark Force can be interesting if you roll good plus skills here and you have the missing fast cast rate, but there is no resistances, so you might actually be better off with Spirit again. And Bone Flame, I'm not really sure. I don't think it's very sought after. Okay, Barbarian. I'm afraid I don't really know much about these helmets for Barbarians. Earth's Face is very solid, you have nice bonuses to resistances, all the good stuff you want on your Barbarian, so that's pretty cool. Wolf Howl, I know this one because it gives bonuses to Feral Age, Lycanthropy and Werewolf, so you can make a Wolf Bard or Wolf Barb, so that's that. And Demon Horn's Edge and Halberd's Rain. To be honest, I've never seen this one or this one in game, so I'm not real sure how useful these are. So sorry, I don't know that much about Barbarian helmets. Okay, and we are with Sorceress items. The Oculus is probably the best magic finding Sorcerer's weapon due to better chance of getting magical items. And the bonuses on it are also great. You have all resistances, mana after each kill, plus 3 skills, faster cast rate, vitality, energy. The only like funny thing can be the chance to cast teleport when you are stuck, and it can get you in some sticky situation, but sometimes it is also helpful, so that's that. Ishuda's Temper, there is a lot of variants on this item. Like, if you roll a terrible one, you can like trash it. If you roll a great one, it can be worth a lot. And Death Phantom, Death, whatever, you can read probably better than I. So this is very sought after if you roll good modifiers on this. Druid items, yeah, these are pretty good from I remember. Jal's Mane is like, you cannot go wrong there. If you are making Fury Druid, it has all the stuff you want, but even if you are making something else, like Wind Druid, it's still pretty useful because strength, energy, overall great helm. Cerberus Bite is not as useful, but I like it for style points if you roll some great modifiers, and Raven Lore can also be pretty good if you roll some good modifiers. And Spirit Keeper, I sort of forgot this existed, so probably not very useful. Okay, and we are left with Paladin items, and these are quite interesting, but I would say the most interesting one is the Herald of Zakarum, which is like go to Paladin shield just. I remember some people actually using Alma Negra for some PvP smiters, maybe due to bonus to enhance damage, but I'm not too sure. So, are we actually done? Yeah, I believe we are done. It took me almost an hour to go through all of those. I will have to like cut down the video quite a lot. Yeah, I will have to watch this again like 3 times, cut the parts and watch it 3 times again and cut some more parts. And I will probably spend the whole week editing this video. Oh great. Oh well, never mind. Thank you for watching. I hope I have brought some sense into unique items in Diablo 2 or Resurrected, if that is something that you are into. So one thing to remember is that there is a lot of variance with unique items. If you roll perfect item and it is one of those which are more sought after. It can fetch really a premium price. So that's that. Thank you for watching once again, and if you have made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. So see you in the next one, I hope. Bye.